Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a jam-packed episode. We'll talk about an interesting proposal from AI startup Perplexity to Google, break down the latest PPI data, share my thoughts on the AMD versus Nvidia rivalry, give you a few megatrend ideas with huge upside potential, and cover other key stories from Amazon, SpaceX, and more. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive straight in. My name is Matthew, and you are watching another investment breakdown. Let's start with something bigger than cool AI features. Yes, AI can already search complex information in seconds, generate code, images, tutorials, and even videos. That's all great, but honestly, it doesn't blow my mind. I see those as future commodities things that will become standard and lose the wow factor. What I'm hunting for is that the next wow factor in areas that actually matter. And one of those areas is robotics. Robotics powered by AI will transform decisions making, precision, and efficiency. And one sector where this will be absolute life-changing is healthcare, early diagnosis, better surgeries, saving lives. This is huge. A leader here is Intuitive Surgical. They make the Da Vinci robotic surgical systems, which you can see here. These machines are controlled by one or two surgeons, who guide robotics arms to perform highly precise operations. Surgeons love them, and the results speak for themselves. In 2024 alone, over 32,000 procedures were performed with Da Vinci systems. From an investment perspective, revenue is growing steadily, at about 17% annually. The business model is beautiful. One system costs anywhere from $700,000 to $3.1 million, plus hospitals need to keep buying instruments, accessories, and pay $100,000 to $220,000 per year for maintenance. That's recurring revenue on top of big ticket sales. Intuitive Surgical dominates the market today. The closest competitor is Johnson & Johnson with their Ottawa system, but it's still in testing. Until then, Intuitive remains the king. For me, I'll be looking to buy if the stock dips below $380. Long term, I see massive potential here. The second megatrend, autonomous vehicles, specifically robotaxis. Whether it's 3, 5 or 10 years away, I'm convinced they'll replace traditional taxis much faster than most people expect. The leaders are clear: Uber, Tesla, Waymo, and Zoox. Uber is already the operator of choice for deploying autonomous vehicles for others. If Uber doesn't win, Waymo has a strong chance. They're already running their own fleets. And then we have Amazon Zoox, quietly building its position. My strategy: spread exposure across the leaders. If Robotaxis succeed, you don't need to pick the single winner, you just want to own part of the future. Now let's talk about the sleeping giant, space. Oh yes, this is the music of the future, and I want to learn the notes now, before the whole concert starts, so I can show up prepared. This isn't just a science fiction or a distant dream, it's happening right now. SpaceX has completed over 500 missions, with an incredible 470 successful landings. That's mind-blowing reliability. Amazon has its Project Kuiper going head-to-head with Starlink. But the two smaller names I want to highlight are Intuitive Machines and Firefly Aerospace. Intuitive Machines is a $3.4 billion market cap company focused on lunar, mission landers, data services, exploration vehicles. They're also eyeing future Mars infrastructure. Revenue growth is the key here. Last year, they grew 180%, and while this year slowed to 12%, forecasts show acceleration back to 40% plus soon. Their balance sheet is clean, $345 million in cash, zero debt, and a strong backlog of contracts worth $250 million plus, including deals with NASA. High risk, but very exciting. Firefly Aerospace just IPO'd. The stock jumped to $60 and then pulled back 21%. Unlike Intuitive Machines, they focus on launch vehicles. Their flagship rocket, the Alpha, carries small to mid-size payloads into orbit and even provides satellite repositioning services. Essentially, Firefly is a space logistics company. Both are risky, early-stage plays, but they could be game changers if the space economy scales the way many expect. Let's circle back to Perplexity. They recently made headlines by offering $34.5 trillion to acquire Google's Chrome browser. For context, Perplexity itself is only valued at around $14 billion. The logic? Google is under antitrust pressure. Regulators have hinted that if they divested Chrome, the case against their monopoly would end. Perplexity basically positioned itself as a solution to Google's problem. Interesting strategy, though personally, I doubt Google would ever let Chrome go. For me, as a Google shareholder, 11 shares, my biggest position. I hope they don't sell, but either way, It shows how creative some of these AI startups are trying to be. Quick side note, earlier this year, Perplexity even explored merging with TikTok. Nothing came of it, but they are clearly aiming high. We also got Producer Price Index (PPI) numbers for July. Headline PPI rose 0.9% versus expectations of 0.2%. Core PPI, ex-food and energy, also rose 0.9% versus 0.3% expected. Stripped further, ex-food, energy and trade, it rose 0.6%, the biggest increase since March 2022. This slightly reduced the odds of Fed rate cut in September, according to FedWatch. Amazon is now offering same-day delivery of meat, eggs, and groceries in over 1,000 US cities, directly challenging Walmart. By year's end, they expect to cover 2,300 locations. The strategy is simple. While customers shop Amazon's massive marketplace, they want them to also throw fresh groceries into the cart. Smart cross-selling play. Back to space for a moment, because it's too exciting to ignore. SpaceX just launched its first Mars mission with the Italian space agency, Agenzia Spaziale Italiana. The mission: collect data and test whether plants can survive on Mars. The bold claim from Italian President Teodo Valente: in 20 to 30 years, we could see an entire city on Mars. Big words, but that's the kind of ambition that drives the sector forward. Switching gears, Warren Buffett and some other big investors disclosed buying 5 million shares of UnitedHealth Group worth $1.6 billion. Now, don't overthink this. The fundamentals of UnitedHealth haven't changed. Reports are 3 months old, meaning Buffett could already be out, or he could double down after the dip. We simply don't know. The takeaway is that the fundamentals are stable, and this headline helped shift sentiment after months of negative press. UnitedHealth really needed that boost. Then we've got Palantir. This stock has exploded, up over 1,700% since its IPO. The growth has been fueled by government contracts, especially with the Department of Defense. But here is the catch. Valuations. Palantir trades at a forward PE of 240. To put it into perspective, the combined valuation of 9 massive S&P 500 tech names, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Broadcom, Oracle, AMD, Cisco, Salesforce and IBM, it's about the same as Palantir alone. That's a premium you can't ignore. If I held shares bought at $5, $10 or even $30, here is what I do. I'd take some profits, but I'd still keep most of my position. Palantir is simply too important to sell entirely. Finally, the showdown, AMD versus Nvidia. I'm firmly in the Nvidia camp. AMD talks about how their chips will compete, but Nvidia has already executed and take the AI crown. I'll only believe AMD when I see a chip that's truly equal or better. Also, comparing them directly doesn't fully make sense. Nvidia has a laser focus on one dominant path, while AMD is more diversified, but it also means they may never be the absolute best in any single category. If I had to compare AMD, it'd be closer to Intel, but let's be real, Intel already lost that battle. So my view, Nvidia destroys everything in its lane. AMD stays good enough across several areas, but doesn't lead. And that's a wrap for today's episode. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. Wishing you a strong start to the week, and I'll catch you soon in the next video. Take care and see you next time.